Dr. Max,
yeah.
I will entice you to come back because Dr. Max has a very big announcement then that he won't.
I won't share until then, so you have to come back.
I love it.
The little teaser. Yep.
And probably more chickens and more eggs too.
Definitely not more chickens, but for capacity.
Yeah, you've expanded.
They just got bigger.
They
just got bigger. We still, they've all,
I was
they're
saying, this
full
is a
size.
great way to know time's passing, is to get to see like Mateo, who's in the garden eating right now. To get to see, he was 1 month old at our last
Oh my
at our
gosh.
last one, and Jennifer and Tom were pregnant with twins, and they're coming with their babies for the placenta ceremony and eating. So it's great to see also just that beautiful growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will start with introducing Dr. Laura Ehrlich, which it's like I get goosebumps when I say that because
So cute.
because Laura and I were body workers together way back in the day.
Started a
30
little before that too.
30 years
Before
ago.
we were body workers together.
Oh really?
Well, I mean, you were having a baby.
No, before, but I knew you before Sabine. And then so we were body workers together, and then she tells me, and I'm pregnant, and she tells me, Could I be your doula? And I was like, what's a doula?
Oh, wow.
And she's like, it's
Wow.
like someone that's gonna help you. And I was like, well, I don't know if I need that.
Oh, wow.
I asked my husband, and he was French, he's French, and he's like, we're going to have somebody there, like just watching us give birth. Like, I was like, yeah. So I said, Laura, do you mind if we just play it by ear, and I'll, call you if I need you. And Leslie Stewart was my midwife. So I had one contraction, and I was like, Laura!
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, yes. So that was probably the seed of being a doula. But then with my second, she had been a doula for like 4 years by then and studying acupuncture. And so then her mentor, who also was part of my prenatal yoga training with Dr. Crane, also came to, was Anna Verwal.
Yep.
And so they, when I then gave birth to my second, and I was like, either I'm going to have to keep having babies, which we couldn't afford, or I'm going to have to like work with pregnant mamas and babies. So that was my entry in my very first birth. I somehow got my client to also hire Laura and Anna. So I had them at the birth with me.
Wow.
So that's how I met Laura. And then it's really been, she was a mentor to me so much as a doula, but also to have like the collaborative care that I really like to work in, to be able to have her. There was a time where Cedars was letting you come in to the hospital to do acupuncture.
Not anymore.
It was always on the kind of down low. Like there were doctors who would be like,
Yeah.
I will tell the nurses to leave the room.
Because she
But it
could
was
do,
always
like, to
Jay
me, the
Goldberg,
most
rest in peace, like, he
efficient
was the guy.
induction is acupuncture and herbs. Like I will say, hands down. And this happens when I have clients who are like, oh, I have my acupuncturist already. And I'm like, are you doing herbs and acupuncture? No, just acupuncture. And sometimes that doesn't work. But Laura is a master at prescribing the herbs and knowing for what each person's body it works for. So now coming to this topic of cycle of hormones, after I had my second, and I breastfed for 3 years, so it was a total of 6 years, my body like did not know how to get out of postpartum hormones. And I kept having like the night sweats and just really like not good to be a mother of two, and just I was really suffering. It took 2 sessions with her and herbs and completely balanced. So I'm a believer in Chinese medicine for all the different cycles of the hormones, and so I wanted Laura to be here to be able to speak to how she handles that. She also has a book called Feed Your Fertility. So I know she's also like probably one of our clients who has 9 children. She's been responsible for.
I am not responsible for this. No, I'm not. I take zero responsibility
for doing IVF and really working with acupuncture and herbs along with that. It's very effective, I think, for fertility as well.
Definitely.
So thank you so much.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And now to Lauren. Wow, Laura and Lauren.
I know.
So Lauren is also has a specialty in Chinese medicine and acupuncture, and I met Lauren when she was pregnant with her first. And then she had her second, and I got to be at that home birth. But Lauren is an incredible coach, meditation teacher. She has a whole meditation program that she does, and also fertility, works in fertility. And we have an announcement for this salon that as of today, we have a program called A Fertile Ground, which I'm happy to say just this morning. It's
Live.
Launch party. Fertileground.com, and it is an online program that is dealing with anyone who is coming to an unconscious conception or struggling for a long time to get pregnant. And Lauren had her own personal journey with her second for that. So she has personal experience with that. And so I'm so glad that
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
and thanks to her going like, Carmen, get this website, let's get it going. She was helping really get that to be able to announce today. So
What?
happy to announce that.
So the website is like
Fertileground.com.
Yeah, so it's a mind, body, spirit training program for fertility and building seeds into motherhood.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a whole trimester of a program for 3 months.
It
So.
comes from both of our work of recognizing that getting pregnant isn't just a science, and there is much more to the picture, and oftentimes women need more support and they need to go on a bit of a journey inside themselves in order to conceive. And,
Yes.
Yeah. we're
So
really
one
excited.
of the ways that I've been coming into the fertility work is through Ellen Heed and a program called STREAM, which is Scar Tissue Remediation, Education, and Management. So I've been taking my body work into the field of the domains of pelvic health. So really those domains are biochemistry, so the nutrition, how you eat is so important, biomechanical, you know, how your body is processing in terms of even just posture, scar tissue inside, the emotional, which is very big with anyone who's had trauma, and that's, you know, needing that kind of release, which Lauren is also really amazing at working through coaching with like a therapeutic way of getting people to go into that emotional realm and heal their trauma. And then the scar tissue. So that looks like actually sometimes scar tissue inside, internally inside the pelvis, and then just, you know, in the whole reproductive organ area. So Miriam came with me to one of my workshops. It's a 2-year certification program, and she just came with me to Ashland because my teacher moved to Ashland, and so it's really incredible to address all those things, because most of the time we want to fixate on fixing one thing, and yet the body is so complex that there's just like, you have to really address all of those things and assess what is that causing that scar tissue and how can you address it. So now to the legendary superstar, Dr. Paul Crane. I don't think I really have to announce, because I mean, most people know Dr. Crane, but how long has it been now you've been practicing obstetrics?
Less than 50 years.
Okay.
We have to do a 50-year celebration.
Well, I mean, he just had a big birthday celebration, which we're going to celebrate all year. Am I allowed to say what
how long
birthday?
you've been practicing, how long you haven't.
No, he's
Yeah, well, I don't care. I'm trying to get used to it.
okay. He just celebrated his 80th birthday. Still practicing, going strong. Outdoes me at first. I'm like so tired, I'd pass out. He's like with women pushing. Milena, who was here last time with her twins, pushed for 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
And labored for 3 days, and this thing like outdid us all.
Wow.
But really, I just to bring it into the hormonal aspect and my personal experience with Dr. Crane, this says a lot, because then it's like I'm gonna cry. So 2 years ago, I started noticing my hormones changing, and it was really miserable. I don't want to scare anyone about menopause and perimenopausal time, but I found myself like having a lot of issues for a year. And one of the days where I was in excruciating pain, I found myself crawling to my doula bag, and I was like, but this is like labor. What is going on? Not to scare you about labor. I was like, but I'm not, like, I'm getting to the other side. Like, why am I going through this? I ended up going to urgent care because I thought maybe I have a UTI, and it was 4th of July weekend. So it was like 4th of July. And the doctor at urgent care was like, no, you don't have a UTI. And I was like, my vulva, my vagina is on fire, and it's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm dying. And he's like, no, you don't have, he did the test. He's like, you're just in menopause. Susan Summers has a really great hormone, replacement kind of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? And so anyway, the next day is like, I think the 4th of July. Again, I'm like crawling, and I just found myself grabbing my phone and calling Dr. Crane. And that is like, that he not only gives, that I had his phone number, and that he also answered on the holidays. And he's like, so like compassionate and so like just listened. And I'm like, Dr. Crane, but this is like labor. I don't understand, but it's going on and on and on. And I feel like I'm dying. And he's like, yeah, that's really tough what women have to go through. And I'm like, but what can I take? Like, prescribe me anything, I'll take it. And he's like, well, have you stopped having your cycle? And I'm like, no, I'm still having it, but it's kind of changing. And he's like, well then, he's like, yeah, there's things you come in, we can do a cream, we can do things, but it was just so shocking to me, the whole thing. And I had to then go into the emotional, the existential also, and realize like what it meant to me to like let go of my moon cycle. And I had someone close to me who said, oh, Carmen, you love that bleeding stuff. You love all that like moon cycle, And I was like, yeah, I guess I do. And then I realized there was a part of my body that was holding on to wanting to have this cycle. And it was like, it was a labor in reverse. So I was laboring myself into this next chapter of my life. And I love how Chinese medicine calls it the second spring. And it doesn't mean like I have a natural hormone cream that I use. I went to see, I had another OB I saw prescribed progesterone, a like really high amount that made me feel sick and gave me a headache. So I was like, something's not right. Like this is a really complex issue of even testing the hormones. So anyway, then it just has been a sort of natural progression of like finding out, first of all, me being patient with my body, realizing like, oh, I've had a cycle since I was 13. Why would I expect in like 2 days, like it's going to be done? And it is a process. So it had to bring me back to my own doula bag of comfort measures, and just really seeing how we're all such unique beings, and finding that collaborative team of how am I going to address my body, and how I'm optimizing this process. So I really appreciate Dr. Crane, because it's in the moments when you feel like you're dying, you find out who you are, and you also find out who is really with you. So the fact that and it's not to say that because I'm a huge supporter of the midwifery model of care, but it was just surprising to me that like the person I called was Dr. Crane. So I'm really so grateful in my life to know a doctor like you, and I'm grateful for all the many thousands of babies and families you've supported. I love when I had a client who actually was delivered by him, having a baby, and him delivering the baby. That was really special. The woman from Israel. That was so special to like have the generations, with their doctor. And that brings me to Dr. Max, because Dr. Max is a family physician, and now my whole family is in his care as our doctor. And that also is really incredible to be able to, as a mother who has now, my son is 18 now, and my daughter's 23, like, it's a different kind of chapter, and to be able to have a family physician get to see the history of the whole family, so can like really be on it in a way that no one else can. And not to mention someone that I always say like this, that you are in such incredible health. It's such a great model for a mother of an 18-year-old son who wants to do all the like powders, for like bulking up to work out. I'm like, talk to Dr. Max about that. And yet he goes all around the world swimming. Like, what was the last one you did in Italy?
It was a 20-mile swim from Capri to Naples.
Whoa.
Wow.
Just these guys over there too.
So, I mean, someone who's walking the walk and who's in great shape.
8 hours.
He used to be a lifeguard here in Santa Monica. Yeah, so
Thank
Dr.
you.
Max. And Miriam, our guest star from Mexico for your annual visit. It's now been 3 years. She's been coming every year, so we hope to keep that going.
Yes.
And I met Miriam when she was brought here from Mexico for a birth for someone in Venice. And I was like, oh, traditional midwife from Mexico? And I was already obsessed with the whole closing of the bones and a lot of the ways that the traditional midwives there work. And so when this doula was like, yeah, she's coming and she's going to be here for a little bit, I was like, do you think she would teach the closing of the bones to the doulas? I'll ask her. So we connected, and she, like every midwife has a different way they do the closing of the bones, but she really speaks my love language with it because she does it like a massage, and it's like having a Thai massage. It's like, it's just incredible, and it's something that everyone can get. I've done it to my husband. We did it to Dr. Crane.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you here have been in the workshop and have received it. Oh, Dr. Langford. Wonderful chiropractor talking about the biomechanical. Anyway, so Miriam has graced us with her presence, and she did a ceremony for our Dream Doula Village in Venice 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
2.
So I feel like she has really blessed our village, so I asked her to open today, or at least do some kind of ceremony for us, for blessings, for, we have babies here in the nest, and all of us for whatever we're wanting to receive, whatever we're wanting to let go of. Her ceremonies are very powerful because we've had women get pregnant in the circle who were trying, and so this is another part of things that can change, that can affect this, is to so to honor the earth and to be in community and connection with the chickens.
Can I just wanted to tell a story that happened the other day.
Okay.
It's just related to Dr. Max.
Okay.
I ran into my pediatrician when I was born, until I was 20 probably, in Topanga. And I hadn't seen him in almost 10 years. Dr. Flintstone was retired. And it was the craziest thing to see the person that I went to consistently every year. Because when you get older, you see people yearly, and that actually means something. And it just made me think of how and he was my whole pediatrician as well. And just running into him and how important he was in my life, and like how much he knew about me and everything, and just like how gentle he was. So it just made me think of like.
And that was was that at the time where it was like a pediatrician was a family physician?
I don't even know, because most people, it wasn't like that.
Because when did it start where like all of a sudden there was this, like, people saw pediatrician instead of their family physician?
I don't even know, because most people, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, just for like 1 or 2 days. Yeah, it's fine.
Then it kind of makes sense based on what I see.
Yeah.
But it feels like what you were saying, Roxy, it's like if you were with the same doctor, you grow with your doctor.
He was with me through puberty. That's such a, and
He
he's
was my
also
kid's
male.
pediatrician's too.
Oh, really?
What?
Dr. Bluestone,
Yeah.
how's he doing?
It was his
He's great. He's aging backwards. I was like running in to get something, and someone's like, look, she's like, I was at the well retail. So his like girlfriend was like, look, she's filling it up, and he turns around. I was like, Dr. Bluestone. Like, everyone in Pine Tree Circle was like, who is yelling at this old man? And I was like, I gotta take selfies. I like called everyone in my family. Like he literally saw me. He saw me when I was like days old till he retired. And I was just like, you literally know me better than some of my closest friends. You have seen me through dark times and great times. And it's just like, and you're a doctor.
So, but in the case when you're a pediatrician, you would be the doctor all the way through. They wouldn't have to like leave.
That's the thing, she never had to switch. And you also trust that doctor in a way. Even though as a female, you know, it's not always easy when you're going through puberty and have all these shifts to have a male doctor. But he had all females on staff, and it was just like so kind, so gentle. And I was like, you were the best. And it says a lot about like to see someone from day 1 to 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to work in Partera, and there's 3 families that I've taken care of since they were born, and so it's been like 11 years now, and I see the parents, and they still drive down for Partera. You know, because there is that, you know, you can't rebuild a relationship with somebody in the United States.
You know it all. You know like how they.
Also, it feels like now with pediatricians, if you don't follow their schedule of vaccines, you can't be with their practice. And that to me is a big problem because it also takes out of like the parent wanting to go, even if they want to do, it takes out from them being able to go, you know, I want to wait for this, and I want to do this one at one time, and that one another time. It feels like a lot of the standard protocol is like, no, you're with our office, we'll do it on the schedule. All right, so
This is the Mexican yoga, like follow the all directions and move around. So it's for me as a Mexican midwife and following my traditions, it's always important to honor the land, and especially now that we are in your beautiful house and this important place to continue doing this kind of community work, because this is really important. So it's important to honor this land. So we are gonna make the opening with the 7 directions, which is the 4 elements: the heaven, the earth, and the heart. So we are gonna bless LA and all this area around, and the waters, and also calling the babies and more families to be like really aware of the meaning of life.
not before 38 weeks.
Well, yeah, the time is the perfect time for each baby. So normally in the tradition we ask permission first to the east, the place of the sun rises, the connection with the bread, with the first bread when we arrive into this land. So I want to invite you to feel the energy and to check what is the east. It's a kind of difficult when we have the sun just in the east.
That's easy.
Yep.
Where's the sun come up?
That
This
is
is your house.
the compass.
And the west,
I have the internal.
the west, yeah.
Yeah.
This is west.
West.
North.
the south. We open the heart, open the arms. Like a tree, elevating the vibration and asking permission to the south, the place of Huitzilopochtli, the hummingbird, the place of the inner child. So we honor the children and the babies that are here and the babies who are gonna come in some point in this year. Ahometakoyatsin, we say, Ometeo. Inhale deeply and bring your hands to your heart. And we move to the west. And we open the heart, open the arms to the place of the feminine energy, the place of the internal waters, the external waters. May the ocean give us the peace in our emotions, in our blood, in our system, in our feminine energy. Ahometakuyatsi. Ometeo. Inhale deeply and bring your hands to your heart. Welcome west. Welcome west. And we move to the north. We open the heart, the arms, and the north is the place of Tezcatlipoca, the obsidian mirror, the ancestral memory, the ancestors, the elders, giving thanks to this sacred land to give us fruits and vegetables and connection with the earth. Tlazokamati Nixliyolo, and we say, Ometeo. Deeply and bring your hands to your heart. And we turn to the left, to the right, sorry, and to the center, and to the heaven. Tlazokamati, the place of the stars, angels, archangels, beings of light. Bless us here and now. Ahometakuyatsi. Ometeo. Inhale deeply and bring the blessings to your heart. And we go to the earth if you want. Otherwise, you can place your hands down. And giving thanks to this sacred land, to our hearts. Tlazokamati, Pachamama, Nonantzin Tlali, Nonantzin Coatlicue. Thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for allow us to be here to guide our steps to this sacred place. Thank you for the flowers, the fruits, the corn, the cacao, everything that you give us every single day. Thank you, Mother Earth, for being here for us and taking care of us and the humanity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is the yoga. And left hand in your heart and right hand facing us to give thanks to each of us and especially Carmen. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for Dream Doula Village to continue doing this work. I know I've seen how much effort Carmen does for make it happen and to be like sending message till 2, 3, 4 a.m. So she's really committed into this. So thank you for bring us in community and then Dream Doula Village keep growing. So we ask each other to bring more people to this community, to be a real community. Ahometakuyatsi, Tlazokamati, Omete. So place both hands in your heart, close your eyes, and set an intention, a prayer, and feel the vibration of the sea conch. So thank you so much for this connection, and I'm also gonna pass petals. So I want that we can make like a circle inside of the mats, which with the petals. Also, you can I pass with love, so you can say your name and your prayer. Miri and Janet, háganos con this. Vamos a comunidad, and we can make a circle with the flower, like a blank circle.
And these were rose petals that were from a ceremonial mandala for the motherly blessing. So they've been already receiving a lot of
Blessings.
blessings.
And also at the end, you can take some of the petals, you can offer it into the ocean or on the land, any special land for you, or you can make a bath for you with the
Está.
And also I have this knife that one of my teachers from the tradition gave it to me in January to be the guardian of this knife. This was used for cutting the cord 3,800 years ago. So it's a really important piece for me, and as a midwife, he asked me to be the guardian and to go around the world talking about the traditions, talking about the ceremonies, and to reconnect with the sacred body, the sacred heart, and the sacred placenta. So today I'm so excited to continue connecting with the placenta because it's the tree of life, it's the source of life. And all these traditions are really, really special and really important to continue talking about it and reconnect with our roots. So thank you.
It has a vulva carved on it.
Yeah. It's really nice. So you can come
It's
and
got
see.
hand carved.
Yeah.
How many years?
3,800. So I'm gonna pass you because it's important that you can feel and see all the energy. So I pass with love.
Or if there's any cords you need to cut, just
Go for it.
Yes.
How long can I hold it for?
Like you're just
Right?
wow. It's just you could do it.
Huh?
Wow.
Okay.
Really like physical or spiritual.
Oh, we can go
for it.
Can I take more roses to close?
So then I'd love to invite, just so I make sure that we get everything in, I'd love to just be able to invite everyone to ask questions because I know that everybody's at different points of cycles in their hormonal cycle, but I want to make sure we have time for anyone that wants to has any kind of personal kind of question that they want to ask about that. So we can sit down and